what am I going to bring is indeed keeping up the energy as we had it today. I'm going to try to blow your mind. I want to spark your brains. I want to make them fire. I want to build a party together with you. So I'm going to do this based on this is going too fast even for me. On the two books that I wrote about learning, about digital, about technology, a lot about micro learning. But recently, I'm also writing a lot about books. And I'm also writing and learning about children. So, Christopher, you only have 8. Well, I'm at 2 girls. These 2 girls, and actually, I wrote also a book about children. This book, Little Digital Citizens. I'm going to give this one to you because this is how to learn and grow together with children, understanding their world. So this is actually a lot of input for my recent book, Learning Mindset, because we are all still children, just a little bit older. So I was inspired by these 2 girls because you have to know 9 years ago, this picture was taken, and the one with the very long hair said to me, "Mom, I need to go on Facebook." And of course I said no. And she went to me, she said, "Oh, Mom, you're so old. You don't get our world. I need to be connected with my friends. You know, they do their homework together. So soon their grades will be better than mine. What are you going to do about it?" So that day I shifted actually my idea about learning. And when I asked children, how do you want to learn? They said, we don't want to learn. We just want the information in our head when we need it. And then in 2016, I found this picture. And for those who don't know it, this is Neuralink in the early days, claiming that we could learn easier, faster with what then was still something like, a bad looking head on our head with electrons. But what he was actually doing, he was stimulating reading and pushing with electrons our brain. This is a little bit freaky. Well, today he's putting a chip in our head. Well, I'm not a big Musk fan because a lot of what he's saying is like, yeah. So, but recently I found that we don't need a chip in our head done by a bot. No, we can just take a pill. They put it in our veins. It goes like this, comes over our head, and it actually helps with anxiety attacks. Well, the first time that I was reading about that, I got an anxiety attack. But apparently it helps you with a lot of neural diseases like MS, but also when you got injured, lose the ability to speak. Well, not sure if I want it in my veins to then grow in my brains. But then I found this one, which is like a fine hair they put in your head, and it also helps you with speech side movement. This is a brain-computer interface that you can speak with your applications, with your Microlearning, with your Facebook, controlled by your brain. It is actually a startup with somebody that co-founded Neuralink with Musk. I think I know why he left that company and started over again. So this is a brain-computer interface, but they don't need all to be invasive. Today we have Alter Ego, which is from the MIT Media Lab, and this helps you to speak with your devices, with your Facebook, even with your microlearning apps, if you would like it. When you lose speech, when you don't have the ability to use your hand, you just use your brains. Well, for me, this is all mind-blowing, and assume for you too. And in my book, I talk a lot about the ethical aspects of AI, of brain-computer interfaces, because I'm always thinking, what if this guy, Musk, is controlling our brains? What if he also is controlling all the stars around us with Starlink? What if we're all connected to this one big mega super brain controlled by somebody? And I took this picture in 2020 in Dubai at the expo in the Russian pavilion. They were talking about the big super brain. By the way, this is also what MIT is researching. It is becoming a reality. And it is becoming even more freaky because this I found in 2020, a dish brain. This, what you're looking at, is actually the brain of a mouse injected with stem cells of human beings. They replace a chip. And recently, I found that they even go further. There are multiple startups looking how we can use real human brains to replace parts of what AI is doing. They're even in Sweden building, really, I'm serious, brain farms. If you go to one of those startups, you can hit codes with Python and control these brains. So I'm a little bit like, what is happening? More slow, Gilders, more whatever. I don't follow them anymore. It's going too fast. I love the future, but I'm confused. I'm thinking, where should I be looking at? Do I need to look at The Black Swan? I love, by the way, this book. If you don't know it, my first tip, read it. The Black Swan, the inevitable that is going to happen. Well, I'm not waiting for the Black Swan anymore. My daughter was right. When she said at the age of 9, Mom, you're so old. You need to understand the world of children. I immediately stopped my PhD and I looked at what my children were doing. And I actually started looking at today 17,000 children. Yes, I had 17,000 children in my workshop. So Christopher, if you think 8 is a lot, I challenge you. You can grow that. So I started looking at children. How do they want to learn? Where do they learn? How do they want to work? Do we need to be influenced by them? Or should we still think that AI is the big change maker? Is it? I'm not sure. I think we need to look at the human aspect of cross-functional, neuro and gender diverse team, looking at how children at a young age all work and collaborate together, and look at the human side first, because this is the age of my children now. By the way, these are not my children. They don't want to be on pictures anymore. They got to this age that they say, no, Mom, you can't take our picture anymore. So not my children bought this from the internet, but you see the image. This is them. When my daughter said, I want to be connected with my friends all the time, she didn't need a chip in her brain. She didn't need to take the pill. Look at yourself. Look at your children. This thing is glued to our hand. It is part of us. It is controlling us. It is already there. The future did cut up with us. So I think we should be inspired by children. And when we talk about microlearning, I think about TikTok. When I ask children, all 17,000, all around the world, how do you want to learn? Who do you trust? Your teacher? Your mother? Or TikTok? Well, I tell you, Mom is last place. And I think that too, by the way, Christopher. So school? No. TikTok. They believe and do everything what they see on TikTok. But the algorithms that you were talking about, they also control them. So I'm a little bit worried. Where is this going? Well, coming back to the positive side again, teachers found their way to TikTok as well. And many teachers are now creating TikTok-like videos, even on TikTok, finding the power of microlearning to give these microbits to help those children that can't follow at school. So TikTok is the thing, microlearning is the thing. This is what children are doing. Children are at the age of 8. And there is even more. They learn from each other. That's what my daughter said. Mama, I want to be connected to my friends all the time. I trust them that they know what I want. And the AI algorithms helping me to connect to those friends that I don't know that are friends yet. And this is how BookTok came alive. BookTok is connecting children from all over the globe to read books again. Can you imagine? For years, we adults tried to get our children to read again. We didn't succeed. And then TikTok, somebody started posting little reviews of a book that he or she was reading. And suddenly, all over the globe, children started buying this book. This is so disruptive. If you look now at Amazon or you go to a nearby bookstore, you will see shelves with recommended on BookTok. So you see, learning is not something that we do anymore. It's becoming in our subconscious. We don't know that we're doing. We've been influenced by other children. This is the future. And if you think that ChatGPT is an invention, something recent, no. Children have been using tools like large language models for ages. To give you an idea, when you type something in Google, it finishes your sentence. This is a large language model. Children are using this stuff for ages. When I ask my children to tell me about the book years ago, coming back to the books, they would just scan the book, open up an app, find a TED Talk about the book, find a review about the book, connect with other people around the book, then had AI writing a summary about the book, and then they put it in Google Translate, bring it from Dutch, that's normally the language that I speak, to French, my second language, to English, to Spanish, back to Dutch, because no teacher would ever find out that it's plagiarism. I'm talking about 7, 8 years ago. So for those on the call, on the conference that didn't use ChatGPT, please talk to children. Oh, by the way, when it's not your children, ask permission from the parents, but learn from and with children. They're your future colleagues. And if you don't believe me yet, how involved that they are with AI, ask some of them if they use Snapchat. Snapchat is so real. They have a virtual friend and they trust them. When they feel bad, they talk to him. We did a lot of experiments where we had children saying that they wanted to do something to harm themselves, and they would connect with Snapchat, and actually the advice that the virtual friend is giving them is sometimes better than adults because they know their virtual friend. They know everything about these children. Okay, it worries me a little bit, but just talk to children about Snapchat and the virtual friend. It is mind-blowing. Those are your colleagues very soon. So if technology is going that fast, what do we have to do to become more human? Well, we have to become more the child in us, the little toddler learning and liking. We use the competences that make us human: imagination, curiosity, openness, understanding the AI, but be optimistic as well about the future, and realistic, because not everything is true. Resilient, but not too resilient, because then you will lose empathy when you build these walls around you. Consilience, and consilience I love so much, is understanding that art and science can be the same. But how can how can you incorporate all these human competences, all these technologies, because it's going so fast? You feel sometimes like an imposter because you don't understand the people that you work with. You don't understand anything anymore. You make mistakes. You don't know what to do. Well, I'm going to tell you, celebrate the mistakes because you learn from them. Connect with others. Create this safe environment. Work with the youngsters, work with the others, all connect. Because you can all be learning leaders. You can give the example. You can connect with the different age groups, with the neurodiverse people. You all can create this big learning ecosystem, which is bigger than your company. It is like a conference of this. We share knowledge, we chat, we inspire each other, we learn, we pass it forward. That's what we can do. Slow down sometimes. Don't understand every hype. See what works for you. Be inspired by nature, like Kaizen. What can I use? What can't I use? What can I do different tomorrow? Connect, ask feedback. That's all learning. Little steps to grow forward. That's the model that I also explain in my book, Learning Ecosystem. Start with discovering what you like and then grow. And for all I want to say about microlearning, embrace it, because this is a lean way of learning. You can get, like on TikTok, like on 7 Taps and all the others, the information you need in the moment of time. This is how you build a learning ecosystem where we all can connect, where we all can grow. And I'm going to share these slides, by the way, with everybody, because this is a lot of information. These 2 slides is actually one book. I'm not going to pass it through because I only have a couple of minute lifts, and I know it's mind-blowing. I want you just to be the person that understands that it's going fast, understand that our iceberg is melting, that not all people do see the change, but that we can build the future on the foundation of the past. And this is the last thing that I want to give to you. I want to give you a learning mindset profiler because you also can change. I want you now to take your camera, all of you, because I'm going to give you a QR code. And maybe Christopher can share it at the end again. I want to give you a QR code so you know what the first thing is that you can learn tomorrow. Because if you learn and you love learning, you become that spark that creates a ripple effect for change. This is what you're looking at, mirror neurons learning together. So I only have 10 seconds left. Please all take a picture of this QR code and understand your learning mindset tomorrow. Christopher, I have 3 seconds left. The floor is yours. I don't hear you. You're on mute. You're still on mute, I think. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Maybe that helps. Can anybody else hear Christopher? Okay, I'm going to talk. No, he's here.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
No, I was just going to tell everybody, can we please get a round of emojis for that? That was absolutely fantastic. And I mean, as a dad of 8, I'm never going to explain when people say we should be doing more with our youth and our kids and all that stuff, because the reality is, I know I spend so much time learning from my kids, and they really honestly teach me so much as I watch them and I observe them and all that. And so I love that you're actually taking that and bringing it into your work. So thank you for sharing that.
Um, it's my pleasure. It's true, it's distracting, all these people interacting with you. I also see I getting applause. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like the toddler in me is growing now.
I know. Yes. And Zolt, I see your comment. Yes, I need the Neuralink so that it can just take what I was going to say and then I don't have to deal with this whole microphone thing. So anyway, no, but I love it. And I do a ton of research and I do a ton of podcasts on tech and AI. So for me, this whole topic and taking the red pill of where it's going and how it connects to all of this, it's what all of my work is on. So thank you for sharing that. And I think it was a fantastic presentation.